This week, the best AI tool of the last 3 months was launched. And if you are following the AI space, you know it's a big compliment if you call a tool the best of the last 3 months. It's called Buzz, and people are famously calling it Slack Killer. This was launched by Jack Dorsey, who was the ex co founder of Twitter. And the reason why I'm so excited about this tool is because this is much bigger than Slack. It's on the surface just an interface for humans and agents to work together in a Slack kind of interface, but actually it goes much deeper than that. In this video, I'm gonna be covering how this platform works, how I'm using this right now, and hopefully this video will also help you answer if you should actually move to Buzz. Most of the videos that I found online were from a technical standpoint, but in this video I want to cover the perspective of how useful this is for non-technical works, like doing marketing and sales within your company, using it as a CRM and all those aspects. So let's get started. The interface of the app looks very similar to Slack. You have these channels, and in each of these channels you can add members. Most of the members you will see here are agents. So the first thing is, like, all of these agents are actually coming from a harness. These are basically coming from my Claude code setup. So you can go in the settings here and you can use Claude Code, Cursor or Codex along with this. So if you have their desktop apps, you can directly use it along with that. And that makes it really powerful because right now all my workflows were divided between Claude Code, Cursor and Codex. And the reason why I was doing it is because there were so many new models coming up. In the last 1 month itself, there are more than 5 to 6 state-of-the-art models that were launched. Claude launched Fable 5, they also launched Opus 5. Then on the other hand, Grok also released a new model, and OpenAI also released GPT 5.6. So that increases the amount of models that you have to constantly work with. And honestly, it creates a lot of fatigue. But this app solves it. So once you have connected all the different platforms that you're using here, you just go back on the app and you can create different agents with different apps. So right now, all my agents are created with Claude, but you can go and edit any of your agent. So for this video, I'm gonna stick with Claude Code because this is right now most stable with Claude Code. So that's the first great thing about it. And the second great thing is your context remains saved across all of these agents. So I could be using a Claude agent and I would also be using a Codex agent, and both of them will get the same context because all the information is saved in the channel itself. And you can also set up the custom instructions for each of these agents. So this is sort of like system prompt for the agent, and they will use this system prompt within which you can provide it multiple skills, all your skills, all your MCPs, all of them now can be reused by multiple agents which are not limited by the platform, Claude Code or Codex. Like, these can be used across platforms, and even if you switch from one platform to another, all your information would be stored in one central place. So that's the great thing. Now, talking about how this platform works, so you have this inbox on the left. So this inbox basically shows you all the pending messages that you have. So this is very similar to threads on Slack. Then there is a Pulse. Pulse is sort of like a social media where all the people can post. But so far I've not been able to get agents to post here. So I think this is mostly for humans that are working on the team. Then you have agents, you also have projects here. So this is much more directed towards the tech audience. Like, you can connect your GitHub projects directly here. I'm not gonna talk much about it in this video. And finally, you have these workflows. So you can set up these workflows that run every day. So these are very similar to Claude routines, by the way, which you get only 5 in the $20 plan. And even if you are using the max plan, you get only 20 of those. But over here, you can set up multiple of these workflows whenever a certain action is taken, or in this case, at a specific time of the day, this workflow runs. Now, how I'm using this right now. So I'm using this for a SEO workflow. So I wanted to do SEO for my own website called TypeSmart. And what I did is I created first 4 different agents. So I created a analyst agent, a auditor agent, a lead agent, a scout, and writer. So lead is basically the SEO lead to which I delegate task, and then it goes to multiple sub agents to get that task done. So I have an analyst who looks at analytics. I have an auditor which looks at different pages and do a SEO/GEO audit of that. I have a scout which looks for new opportunities, and then finally I have a writer who writes the final SEO content. So this is a team of agents. How I'm using this right now is I wanted to start with doing SEO for my product TypeSmart. So I told it that it does not have a blog page yet, and I want you to create a 30-day plan for it. And I tagged the lead, since lead would be orchestrating with the rest of the agents. So the lead came up with a plan, and then I asked it to run all these sub processes and actually get the plan in motion. And then it provided work to different sub agents. It asked a writer to write a blog, then it asked the auditor to audit the existing pages, and all that output is here. So now it has created a blog. If I go to the performance channel, so I already have a conversation here where I asked the analyst to check the SEO performance of the website over the last few months, and it was directly able to connect with GSC or Google Search Console, and it was directly able to fetch all the metrics from the last 90 days. It was also able to calculate the difference between the current 90-day period and the 90-day period before this. So I would also be adding Google Analytics here so that every day it can come up with a report which have all the analytics. So once this is done, then I went ahead and I also created a direct message. So just like Slack, you can also direct message your individual agents, and you can even message two of them together. So I messaged the analyst and the lead together, and I gave them a task. I want them to run a daily workflow where they will pull in Google Search Console data, and then it will send it on the performance channel. So the analyst set up the workflow, and then the lead basically verified if it is working fine. So initially it set it up for the other website, but then I mentioned the lead and I told it that the website is TypeSmart, and basis that it changed it. So thinking about it, I think right now I can also just message one person. Like, there was no point of including lead in this task, but overall this is a really powerful workflow, because you just have to tell one agent and it will delegate the task across multiple agents. For example, yesterday I asked the lead to run the SEO audit on the product's website, and it delegated the task to the sub agent Scout in the relevant channel, and it gave it the entire context on what needs to be done. The Scout started working on it, and then it came up with the entire analysis on what needs to be done. And some of these tasks were running for 20-30 minutes, where multiple sub agents were working on multiple tasks, and then the lead was analyzing all the work that was finally being done. So what makes it similar to Slack, or even better, because in Slack you don't have these native agents that you can set up and create and use directly. Like, you cannot directly call in your Codex and Claude agents there. And all these skills that I am using, all these skills were natively created within Claude Code. The agents were able to just pick up the same scripts and start using it here. So that's all about these features. But one thing that really sets it apart from any other AI tool right now is this really new intuitive feature called Compute. So if I go within Compute, you will see that it is asking me to select a model that can run on my system. I have a Apple M1 with 6 GB memory. So it's recommending that I can run Gemma 4 on my system. But what this is basically doing is it is enabling shared compute in all the devices on the organization. So if I run a team of 10 people and all of us have Apple M1 MacBooks, so all of us can run this Gemma model. And in that case, we would be using each other's compute every time when we want to do a task. And that way, a dependency on using platforms like Claude Code and Codex go much lower. And that's actually really interesting because no one so far has scratched the surface of open models, because the bigger models, you will see that they also have these bigger models here. Models like DeepSeek R1, which actually requires around 20 GB to run. And similarly, there are even larger models here. So the thing is, like at max, you can only run one model on your system. And even if you are running like one model, you cannot run these multi-agent pipelines over there. So this idea of shared compute makes it so much easier, because if I have a device and all of my team is online at a point and we want to use the compute that is being generated by each of their device, like we can use it directly here. So that's a really innovative concept. Going ahead, as the open weight models get as good as the closed weight models, there would be more and more people that are using these open weight models. And this entire feature of compute actually makes it much more simpler to use. So you could have a Mac Mini lying down somewhere that is running, and you can use the compute from that device in your MacBook. So that is really cool. Apart from that, they have some more experimental features here. And finally, they also have a mobile app through which you can connect this and start using this. So this is very similar to how dispatch feature works on Claude Code. You keep your device open and then you can play around with all the agents in your mobile phone and you can interact with them there. So that's really cool. Overall, I think this is as big of an innovation as Hermes agent or OpenClaw. I think this is gonna change how most of us work. And if you would want this entire set of agents that I've created here, you can get it from the description of the video. I will drop the entire system prompt that I've used for these agents and specific skills that I've used for them. So when you are importing them, you can just come on new agent and you can choose from catalog, and in that catalog you can select the files that you get from the description of this video. So that's all about the system. Going ahead, I'm gonna use it a lot. I would love to know that if you are using this and for which exact task you are using this. And I'm gonna use this a lot. I'm gonna be sharing a lot more workflows on things that I am building with Buzz. If you want all of that, do subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.